Hey girls, welcome back to the Asterisk Podcast, where I'm your host, April Biondolillo. On today's episode, we have Audrey Turner. Audrey Turner is a senior at Grand Canyon University studying marketing. She works in collegiate and professional sports social media. She loves the sunshine, laying outside and tanning in the Arizona sun, and has officially moved full time to Phoenix and has loved every second of it. Audrey, welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
So excited to have you. Literally, we met at Cherish Conference 2024 in Tri Cities, and me and Marisol both were like, wow, she's so cute. Like, we need to be best friends with this person. So here we are, full circle. You've written a blog for us, and now you are on the podcast.
I'm
Super
so
excited.
excited.
Yes. So we're going to jump in with just telling us a little bit about your own testimony from your early experiences with faith to how you came to really know Jesus in college.
Absolutely. So I just recently heard this term called sprinkling,
Hmm.
and it was that when you're baptized as a baby, it's a sprinkle. And I was sprinkled in the Catholic Church. And that was something I was never knew of. And I thought that I could never really understand Jesus or get baptized in the Christian
Mm,
church of any of the sorts because I've already done that.
yeah.
So I automatically knew of the religion in the Catholic Church. I grew up going to school and in church on Sunday. My family drifted away from the church when my parents divorced when I was 10, and since at that age, I never really we didn't talk about Jesus. It was kind of a
Right.
quiet conversation. Divorce is not a very loved thing in the church,
Yeah.
so I think that was always kind of a big part of it, and leaving the school was leaving your friends and close family friends that you had there, so I didn't know Jesus, was super afraid of church. A lot of that church hurt came
Mm,
from just not understanding why we couldn't go back and why these
yeah.
people kind of rude and off to us after we left.
Mm,
So, it wasn't until my first week of my freshman year in college, I was invited to church. And it was like I guess I can go. I had gone to certain things here and there in high school, but I just really didn't understand it.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand going to church. It felt super odd to me, so I went, and it was the first time that I felt pulled.
Mm,
And it wasn't until, like, now that I know Christ that it was, like, the Holy Spirit pulling me.
yeah.
And, since then, I had my fair share of bruises with
Yeah.
just my relationship with him.
Mm,
It felt very much like, "Okay, maybe I'll come back to that when I need him." And it
yeah.
wasn't like a it wasn't full in. I was lukewarm, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, whatever way I wanted. So it wasn't until probably right after Cherish that
Mm,
I was like, "Hey, this is it for me. Like, this is all. I either give it all or I'm not part of this."
wow.
So, you gave it all. Um, that summer was reflecting, it was getting closer to Jesus, it was coming to this next school year, and I am just a different person because of the Lord, which is everything you ever wanna hear.
Yeah.
It's just a whirlwind, and it's been such a kind and frustrating and awesome and sweet and hard
Yeah.
transition, but it's such a
Yeah.
good one that you gotta be a part of, so, yeah, that's my
I
testimony.
love that. No, I think that's so cool because I wouldn't have even known you at Cheers Conference were, like, at that point of, like, am I going all in? Am I not? And I love that you're even giving that descriptive of there's a difference. Like, we can all say, like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a Christian, like, life is good," but we know that while salvation is free, like, following Jesus, like, it does cost you something. Like, you have to surrender every single part of you. So you're in college, so after coming to know the Lord, what did it look like to wrestle with still wanting that college experience?
Yeah, my least favorite phrase now is college experience. Because it's your own experience. It's not anyone else's.
Okay, Audrey, that's
It's
good.
and it was something I wrestled with because I was like, "Okay, all these people are going to parties." My sister grew up in the Big 12 area, so that was like,
Um,
"Oh, what is she doing, and what am I not doing?" I always felt
mm,
this connection, and I knew Jesus, but I didn't know what that meant to just, like, give
yeah,
it all and give up the things that he really doesn't like,
yeah,
especially because I didn't want to either.
mm,
I shouldn't say that it's not because he doesn't want it, I wanted it too.
yeah,
So that was something I had to be super diligent about. When I came to Christ, I was like, "Okay, what am I giving up because it needs to be everything that was not for him at
Wow.
all." And in college, that experience was going out, it was with other people that I shouldn't be with.
Yeah.
Everything was cool, it was for the pictures, it was for the memories, it was that
Mm.
experience, and going to a Christian college, you would think this would kinda be a little different, but
Yeah.
you find your ways because, we don't have Greek life, we don't have any of those things, but we
Mm.
had bars and stuff that would, let your fakes in, or they would let you
Yeah.
pay a cover and you get in, and that was so appealing at the
Mm.
time, so appealing, and
Yeah.
the dancing and the drinking and just not knowing where you were
Mm.
was appealing in some way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I really hit rock bottom in the partying that I was like, "'Kay, this is nothing to me." Like, this
Wow.
you get you're not fulfilled by this. You get 2 hours of awesomeness, and then you have a terrible hangover, and you just wanna die because
Mm.
you feel disgusting,
Yeah.
and you have so much regret, like, that had nothing to me anymore, like, that felt terrible, and that's when that conviction started to come,
Yeah.
and I hated the conviction, and now I love the conviction, and that's when that
Mm.
relationship starts to really become understood, and you know that that relationship with Jesus is going to free you from
Yeah.
all that, like,
Absolutely.
guilt in
Yeah.
it. So, the college experience is your experience.
Mm.
So, don't let anybody else tell you what they're doing because it's all
Yeah.
about what you're doing and what you
Yeah.
feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a rocky road, and it's something that I hope everyone has to go through a little bit because it definitely shows the pull that the Lord has on you for sure.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve, but it was one that definitely made me think for
Yeah.
sure.
No. And was it difficult for you to find friends that were also, like, walking that with you, that were desiring, like, I wanna please the Lord, I wanna let go of the partying and, this quote unquote college experience that everyone talks about and knows about. Was that challenging or did you find that quickly?
I think I wasn't looking for it at all. I was
Mm.
only looking for the fun because that's all I wanted to do. I had all opportunities to be
Wow.
with those people. My friends now are those people that I
Yeah.
wanted, and they're amazing and kind and sweet, and I had them, but I just wasn't turned into them.
Yeah.
I didn't see their appeal in going to
Mm.
college groups on Thursdays. I saw the appeal of going to the bar on Thursdays. So that is my doing. That
Um,
was me.
that's a good
And,
point.
um, yeah, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that it wasn't that people were coming up to me, it was I wasn't coming up to them.
Mm.
I was finding different ways to meet those people that were at
Yeah.
parties and not the fun stuff, going drinking in your dorm, like, I was finding those people myself
Yeah.
because I wanted to be part of it,
Right.
but instead, I needed to be finding the people that were gonna take me out to dinner on a Friday, and you're in
Mm.
a fun sundress, and you're just the
Yes.
happiest people on
Yeah.
the earth, and that's me now,
Yeah.
and I couldn't be more grateful for those people, for sure.
I think that's a wonderful picture too, because I think sometimes we feel like if we're giving something up that we're gonna have nothing in return. Like it's this really boring, mid level like life. Like it's just like following Jesus is like just a chore, but you still get to have like really fun experiences, like and you create that with your friends, your community. If that's we want to get dressed up, we want to go have like a cute little dinner and take pictures, it's just removing some of those things that do come with regret and you find out, oh, like the things that actually make me happy aren't what I thought that they would be, which is kind of funny to look at. But I think that's a great way of saying like it wasn't like giving something up and God gave me nothing in return. He gave me like a really strong community of girls where we can do the things that we love just without this portion that's going to bring all this shame and regret with it, which is huge. So, yeah, go for it.
I was just saying, like, it just replaced it. Like,
Mm,
it just replaced it, I
yeah.
didn't need all this other stuff, so he's like, I'm gonna give you something better, and I'm gonna replace that
Mm,
guilt and ickiness with just kindness and joy
yeah.
and laughter that I thought I was feeling, but it was not pure, it was not kind,
Yeah.
it was not any of those things. So it was just a complete replacement of what I
Yeah.
really needed, for sure.
And it's also kind of interesting when you think about it. It's like obviously when you're under the influence of any sort, like you're kind of You're like a fake version of yourself. You're not fully used. You're not really fully being accepted for who you are. But when you remove those things and you're with people, it's like, man, this is me, like raw and real and out there. And when you find acceptance in that place, I think it is so much deeper, so much more meaningful. And it's like these are the people that like I can do life with. Like at 2 a.m. when life is tough, like these are the people that I'm gonna be able to call. Where the other people, it's like you're out with them at 2 a.m., but you're not talking about life. You're like trying to get out of situations you should have never been in the first place. So, huge contrast. So, can you talk to us, Audrey, about what being lukewarm looked like for you and what began to shift in your heart?
Lukewarm was going to church when I pleased because I wasn't busy that
Mm,
Sunday morning for something or I didn't feel good enough to go. It was opening my Bible when it felt like it could work today. That was in
mm,
my schedule. I could do that today. Lukewarm was the partying, but also putting on a face when other people talk about Jesus, being like, "Oh my god, I love him too."
mm,
Like, I didn't even know him. I didn't even know
yeah,
his full love. So saying that was like a preview of it. That was a
mm,
preview for me, and lukewarm was just not actually giving all of me to him.
wow,
It was not trusting him with my anxieties. It was overthinking about every situation I could possibly think of and just saying like, "Lord, you got it. Like,
yeah,
I need you to take that." And I'm a terrible overthinker. I have awful anxiety, and
mm,
I can't even believe how much that the Lord has shown me in just sitting with your thoughts and
yeah,
him settling in those too. Like, he's like, "Okay, I want you to tell me all those things," and I tell him, and he's like, "Okay, let me settle with you. Like, let's talk
wow,
about this. Like, let's sit here." And being lukewarm was just going by myself without those things.
yeah,
I didn't need his help. I didn't
yeah,
need to talk to him about it. I prayed when something bad was happening, not when something good was happening.
mm,
I learned recently or just a couple months ago, like, thank him before every prayer because you just gotta say it, like, "Thank you for today. I had a rough day, but, like, thank you for giving me another day."
mm,
No, or, "Hey, thank you so much for that dinner I had today, like, that was awesome. Like,
yeah,
thank you." You know?
yeah,
So, being lukewarm was not no thank yous. It was no anxiety the anxieties were just overflowing, the overthinking was crowding your brain. It was,
mm.
not understanding, like, how much he can do for you if you really show him how much you love him as well.
That's beautiful. I love that because it's just this reality of you have to dive all in, and when you get to that point, then you're seeing, like, the reward of it, but lukewarm, it's kind of like it keeps you in this place of checking it off a list, but you're not even getting the fullness of what you could get from it, so I think that's really, really awesome that you started to see the difference in that and discovering it and saying, "No, like, I'm doing this thing, like, I'm going all in." What were some of the hardest temptations you faced trying to follow Jesus in a college setting?
Probably just the quick fun.
Mm,
I think it was the validation from others was a big
yeah,
thing. The quick fun would be like, "Well, we're just gonna, like, drink in the apartment for, like, a few hours."
yeah.
Like, it was like, "Okay, well, I'm not going out, so that's better, right?
Mm.
I'm not going out, I'm staying in my dorm, so it's fine."
Yeah,
But it wasn't really fine.
yeah,
It was also yeah, it was the validation from others. I think I wanted to be cool, and I wanted to show that I really didn't care what other
yeah,
people thought, but I cared so much. I cared
yeah,
so
yeah.
much. And now I just don't care because the one person I really want to care is going to always care for me.
Mm.
So that yeah, it's probably the validation, those, like, quick bursts of fun that were not fun.
What would you say to, like, someone that's, like, in that space? Like, maybe they're listening right now and they really do, they have this desire of, like, "I wanna follow Jesus, but, like, I am so weak in my flesh when it comes to the opinions of others and trying to fit in." You know, what encouragement how would you challenge them? What's helped you?
I think what helped me was looking at the joy that other believers had.
Mm.
Not the joy of the people at the bars that were dancing and singing, it was the joy of the people worshiping. It was
Yeah.
the joy of the people coming out of the church doors after a service, and they're like, "Wow, that was good," like, "Wow,
Mm.
we're gonna go get breakfast, like, I feel great this morning." It was looking at the joy that was from him,
Yeah,
not
that's good.
substance, not
Yeah.
from other people, not from validation, it was the joy of the people that
Yeah.
are surrounded in his love, and it was the joy that they expressed so much to me, and I just didn't wanna listen.
Mm.
Looking at that is probably a big part of the advice.
Yeah.
there's another thing is, like, there's always a better s like, there's always something better on the other side.
Yeah.
And that was something I didn't wanna hear because I didn't get it. That was like, "No,
Yeah.
there's not." But there is.
Yeah.
I'm as happy as could be, like,
Mm.
life throws things at you, but I've never felt more fulfilled
Yeah.
in my life. And that's not just a greeting card saying that's not anything, it's I am fulfilled.
Wow.
So, it's looking at the joy of others, not caring what other people think is an easy thing to say, but a hard thing to do.
Right.
And that's why you just have to really surround yourself with the people that are going to lift you up in just who you are,
Right.
because they don't want you to change.
Right.
It's actions, it's certain choices that you've made. Those are the things that have to change, but you yourself don't. Like,
Yeah.
he loves who he created. He
Mm.
loves your smile, he loves your laugh, he loves the way you think about things, he loves the way you learn. So, not changing those things, but changing your actions is a big thing and how you thought about those actions, because we're not asking you to be a completely different person. We're asking you to
Yeah.
be an even better version of yourself.
That's good. I like that.
So, yeah, probably that.
Just probably that. It's so good.
Just
I love it.
probably that.
It's just the reality of, like, the enemy can only imitate, and so the fact that you're able to discern, like, this is what the world will say is joy and what will fulfill you, but yet you're looking at it and you're like, "Man, that's not it. It's this close attempt to, but, like, the only thing that can really fulfill you, give you that joy is the Lord." And so, I think it's cool that you're able to paint these pictures of, like, you'll see it over here and it'll look like it, and you have to be smart too, because I mean, like, we're surrounded in social media, so, like, you'll be doom scrolling at night, seeing all the girls in your college campus and who they're hanging out with or what they're doing, and it may seem like everything's great, but we always know there's a story being told behind each of those photos, and so we just have to be really guarded and really mindful of, like, I need to just focus on myself and reflect, like, is this actually making me feel better, or is it, like, I think that question of, like, is it making me feel better? Is it actually making me better?
Yeah, I love
And
that. That's good, yeah.
yeah, and the just to the point of what you're talking about of we're not following Jesus isn't solely like, okay, you're gonna become this completely different person. It's just enhancing the things that God's put inside of you. It's bringing that to the surface and the things of your flesh, like dying out that you really don't like about yourself, anyways. Like we always were wanting to change and transform. And I think you said this earlier of like, I love conviction now because you recognize conviction isn't like this condemnation or shame. It's, hey, there's still growth in Audrey. And that's so cool because that means there's still an even better version of me. Like I'm constantly becoming and growing and turning into this image of Jesus, which is the goal, like we want to be just like him. So, you mentioned earlier that at Cherish Conference, there was a turning point for you. What was God speaking to you during that time that caused this shift in your heart of, man, I need to go all in?
It was during the "Give Me Jesus." We were singing that song in worship, and I remember just falling to my knees and
Mm,
crying because I was just like, "Give me Jesus."
yeah,
Literally, just what the song said, and it's so cliche and small to say, but that's all I want. Like, that's all I
mm,
needed. Like, I felt the pull of needing something so much bigger than I am. I needed something to lift me higher, to hold me accountable for actions, to just lay next
yeah,
to when I need something or when I just wanna talk. It's
yeah,
not always what you need, it's always he can always tell me something that I didn't even know I needed.
yeah,
And that turning point was just listening to that song and seeing all the women in that room
mm,
feel something different, and
yeah,
it's not the same as me, which is
mm.
pretty cool because
That
that
is
means
really
he's
cool.
working in each one of them,
Wow.
and it's not this, like, fake, "Oh, we're just gonna put our hands up and sing," because 'cause I've been to those things too, where I'm
Yeah,
like, "Okay, I didn't feel anything here." Every person in that room, every
yeah,
girl was touched in a way that you can never explain,
yeah,
and you never want to because that's yours, it's private. Like, that's
yeah,
your feeling, that's your relationship with
mm,
him. And it was the desire to wanna be loved by him so much.
yeah,
And now I know how much he does love me, but
mm,
at that moment, I wanted to know.
yeah,
I needed Jesus. I needed to feel what every single girl felt in that room,
mm,
and I did. So that was turning point for sure. Just
so cool.
seeing
Yeah,
change and hearing stories, and not everybody's perfect.
yeah,
I loved that. Like, every single girl that I went to or in the panel, they all had
Yeah.
different to say, and that's
Yeah.
what I love panels, like, they are not perfect people. Not even
Mm-mm.
close to. They have
Yeah.
almost the same mistakes as I have thought about doing or have done.
Wow.
Things that I wanted to keep to myself, but they're
Yeah.
like, "This is what I did, and this is how I've gotten out of it," and all these things, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she just said
It's like, wow, this is great.
I'm like, "Oh, wow."
These are my
I'm
people.
not gonna say it, but you can.
Yeah, you go for
Yeah,
it.
you
But I'm resonating.
yes.
Yeah.
So I
No.
think that was such a huge like, the entire conference was awesome just because I
Yeah.
got to see the change in different people,
Mm.
and there's so many different ages and where people were in life. There were moms, there were grandmas, there were
Yeah.
middle schoolers and high schoolers,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
that was cool that everything he was doing was just working differently.
Wow. No, so good. I mean, I'm biased, but I'm also a huge fan of Cherish Conference. So,
Same,
like,
same.
slight plug there. It's no big deal. But I love that what you were saying, like that was probably my favorite moment too of that song. We sang it so much when it became, and it wasn't even like a plan. It just became the anthem of that conference, which is just cool. Like when you create a space in your own life, like the Lord will show up, you know? So when you're talking about like your time with the Lord, like reading your Bible, like when you create that space, like He wants to meet you there. Like you draw near to Him and He's going to draw near to you. And so that's why we create spaces like that because we want girls to experience like, hey, anywhere you go, everywhere you go, like the Lord can be there and meet you in those spots. So when you and I had like a little bit of a discovery call before this podcast episode to figure out like, hey, what do we want to talk about? What's your story? And you had mentioned that even after conference, like this became a time where you really fell in love with Jesus. And I'm curious, like you had this turning point at conference. Now you're still at home for the summer. What practical things like happened over the summer? Like how did you keep that place? How did you continue to walk in that and not just allow conference to be this really cool experience and then just fade away?
Yeah, that spiritual high.
Yeah.
Spiritual high, it's talks about so much, and I didn't understand it until I felt it and was like, "Okay, I want it longer."
Yeah.
So it was the desire to want it longer, and it was finding your own rhythm with Jesus, finding your own rhythm of reading your Bible. Get plugged in somewhere,
Yeah.
anywhere. Grab your friends. If you don't have a friend, you can text me.
I love it.
We can we can sit and we can talk about Jesus. We can do
Yeah.
a Bible study. Get with people that are going to raise you higher. The
Absolutely.
same thing happened at Shares. Tons of people raising you higher, feeling all different kinds of things. It's gonna be the same thing, just smaller, and that's when you're gonna still feel that spiritual high just
Yeah.
constantly because the spiritual high is supposed to be all throughout your life. You
Yeah.
go through phases, but I think just keeping yourself accountable for getting in the Word every day
Yeah.
is a huge thing. Surrounding yourself with the right people is
Right.
huge. Just constantly being present in that relationship,
Yeah.
not shying away because stuff is going on, and I mean, we all have our moments for sure, but making sure that it is always at the front of your brain,
Yeah.
not the
It's good.
back, not the side, not any of the things. It needs
Yeah.
to be at the front
It's
because he's
good.
leading you.
Yeah.
So, it would be to get plugged in,
Yeah.
to remember how good that felt and that you
Mm.
wanna keep it going,
Yeah.
because that remembrance is gonna be like, "Okay, yeah, like, I can still have this from a song in my car.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
still have this from reading a verse that, like, I really needed to hear today." Like, I feel, like, awesome when I hear
Yeah.
those things. So, yeah, for sure. Getting plugged in, always feeling that high all the time, and just remembering what that felt like, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's so good because you said even earlier, like when you're talking about like going back to college, like you had the opportunities to connect with the girls that are like your closest friends now. It's just you weren't seeking that out. That wasn't what your attention was drawn to at the time. And so I think when you have a moment like conference or go to a camp or whatever this event is where you encounter the Lord, like a big piece of it is that you are surrounded in a room with other people like minded or pursuing that same thing. And so keep a hold of that, keep those people with you just like you're talking about, and we're meant to walk life with one another. Like, that's one of the greatest commands that the Lord gives us continuously throughout the Bible is this need for community. It says, "Confess your sins to one another, bear each other's burdens," and it's like, how are you supposed to do either of those things if you don't have your community of people? And so, I think the enemy's really good at isolating us. I think because, again, of phones and devices. Like, it should be this tool that helps us connect even more with people, and it can, but oftentimes it's causing us to connect less with one another or not show up as our true selves in a lot of settings. So, I think what you're hitting on is so true of just, man, find those people, make it a priority, and remember, like, this was a good feeling. This was, like, something you hadn't experienced before, so we wanna hold on to this, and typically the things that, like, are really good for us, they come at a cost, they're challenging, but then it just becomes so much of your natural rhythm once you adapt to it that you couldn't imagine having it any other way. So I think that's so powerful, so essential. You've talked about how it's a daily decision to get back on the Jesus train. What helps you show up and keep choosing him?
The constant m always reminding yourself, like, what he did for you.
Mm,
You know, Easter just happened, and, I have a very squeamish stomach.
mm,
So, I saw a video on Instagram, and it was a live action of Jesus getting hung on the cross, and I
wow.
and I stopped it. I was like, "I can't do this." There's blood rushing down his face, he's coughing up blood, and he's just in
Mm,
pain. I was like, "I can't watch that." It came up again, and I watched the whole thing, and I was sick to my stomach, but I was weeping saying, "Thank you."
wow.
So, getting on that Jesus train is remembering how much he did for you. Like, you can get up. You can get up and pray, you can get up and say thank you can get up and read a verse, like, I still have to tell myself that every day.
That's
I am
good.
not a Christian, I am not. Sometimes I 100% skip it because it doesn't feel needed at that moment, but it is so needed.
Yeah,
Just one verse,
yeah,
section, anything, because he did so much for you and he's constantly doing something for
yeah,
you, so you always need to make sure that you're reciprocating that as well. Like,
absolutely.
you need to make sure you're getting in the word, making sure you're saying thank you, you're praying, and that Jesus train is an
Yeah,
everyday thing.
yeah,
So, remembering that is huge, yeah.
so good. And something you said on the call too that I loved, I actually have it, like, written down in my notes on my phone was you referenced, like, Instagram Jesus, and how do you I wanna unpack that. How do you navigate seeing people who claim Jesus on Instagram, but live differently in real life?
Yeah, so I was just having a conversation with my good friend Kennedy, and she lives in a building next to us, she's a good friend of mine, she's one of those that's always pulled me closer and higher.
Love it.
And we were talking about this podcast, and I was like, "Here's one of the questions," and she's like, "Okay, I understand what you mean, but, like, what do you mean?" You
Hmm,
know? And so I kind of explained it to her, and it changed my view on it a little bit more because I
hmm,
could tell I was judging on another
mm,
side of it, and I needed to change that quickly
wow.
because I am no better than anybody
Yeah,
else. I have posted my Bible with a verse on it. I have posted a selfie being like, "Jesus loves you today."
yeah,
I've done it all the things, but I think that's it separates when I was at the point where I didn't understand Jesus very well, and I really wanted to, but I didn't understand it, and I was getting misrepresentation of him from
yeah,
Instagram, and that's where the Instagram Jesus is super hard to
yeah,
understand, and it's such a hard thing to grasp because I was seeing girls post at church, and they were super happy, and then their private stories on Snapchat is them getting hammered,
yeah,
and they're just sitting in their bedroom crying, and it's "Oh, I thought he was supposed to be so much bigger and better for you, like, why
yeah,
are you like that? Why are
yeah,
you sad?" And that's where that misrepresentation of
yeah,
what he can do for you, and that's where the lukewarm comes in and all those
yeah,
other aspects, and that Instagram Jesus is the, um, aesthetic. It's Jesus is not an aesthetic, and Kennedy said that, she was like, "Jesus is not an aesthetic. He's not a trend. He's none of those things. He is a living God,
good.
and he is just everything above everything."
Mm,
So, if we keep putting him as a filter and as this relatable thing on our stories because it felt like we needed to push that out on the day, no, like, your heart has to be somewhere with it.
yeah,
And some
that's good.
people's heart is 100% with it, and I love them for it, but
Yeah,
some aren't. And that's where I am so cautious with what I
yeah, that's
see
good.
and post on Instagram now, knowing
Yeah,
Jesus, because I never wanted to misrepresentate
right.
him
Yeah,
because it happened to me.
yeah,
So the Instagram Jesus is such a hard thing because you can have a Bible verse in your bio
yeah,
and you could be going out the next day.
yeah.
So, that misrepresentation is a big thing in
It's good.
Instagram, just in life,
Yeah,
honestly. Just, that like, "Oh, I went on a vacation, I look awesome," and then the next day, you're talking about how terrible your life is and how hard
yeah,
your friends are, but we aren't seeing that because it's on a
right.
screen, and you're only gonna post your highlights.
Yeah, yeah,
So you're just posting highlights of Jesus, you're not posting how he changed, you're not posting the constant frustration with yourself because you
right.
don't know how to be better.
Yeah,
I've gone through the same thing. He doesn't need you to be better, he just needs you to be a little bit more like him.
yeah,
So, that is where the Instagram Jesus has always been a hard thing for me,
yeah,
but it's something that's definitely changing my view on that, and
yeah,
just always wondering where someone's heart is when they post, for sure.
yeah. I think that's a good, like, it's a check of your heart before you post something. Because even on the flip side of things, like, I heard from, Becky Johnson, I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she was talking about how a lot of times now, like, even with young people, like, we can constantly be posting, like, our time with the Lord or, like, a scripture there, and almost we can be missing the point, like, are we reading our Bible so that we can post this aesthetic picture to say, "Look at me with my time with Jesus," like, almost like bragging, prideful, and there's this beauty in and not saying that you can't ever do that, like, there may be something the Lord's putting on your heart to share, like, but again, it's if it's to draw people in to see, like, "Look, I'm such a good Christian," or kinda coming on like higher than thou of someone else, it's just where's your heart at? What's your motive in posting what you're posting? And there's this beauty and this privacy of having a relationship with the Lord in the sense of there's intimacy, and intimacy, when you break that down, like that's not meant to be for everyone to see. That is between, you and the Lord. And so I think there's some things that are meant to be in that place. And when it's ready, like it will come out in a space that he'll provide for you. So I think it's kind of like looking at it as like I can't like a measure of like, where am I at? Checking
Mhm.
yourself like before I post this, like what's the motive? What's the reason? Am I trying to like, I don't want to be a misrepresentation of Jesus, but I also don't want other people to think like, oh, I'm so perfect and great and never be like a safe space where people can come to. So I like it. I think you should keep, using that as like a way to measure things. I think that's really good. And our last question for you, which this one I really like. If you could go back and tell your freshman yourself one thing, what would it be?
Gosh.
She's like, let me
I
think
wanna
of
tell her so many things.
Ugh.
I would tell her that it's okay to not be like everyone else.
Mm,
It's okay. It's okay. You are not like them. You have not been designed to be like them, so just don't be it.
yeah.
You have no reason to be because you are your own,
Mm,
and God made you exactly the way He wanted to, and He loves you for it, and the people that really care about you and love you will accept who you
yeah.
are completely. And I didn't do that at all when
Mm,
I was in my freshman year. It was everything for the validation and for the response of others.
yeah.
So to go back and tell myself, "Hey, like, you are so loved just of who you are.
Mm,
You don't have to do that. You don't have to hang with those people. You can be right where you are
yeah.
and be content and just grow in your faith." But I think everything my whole journey happened the way exactly it needed to be,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't be here talking to you, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be telling my people that I know or getting baptized and being like, "Oh, I had no idea I was gonna
Yeah.
be here." That wouldn't have happened if he didn't send me through those obstacles.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, my freshman self needed a hug for sure. She needed
Mm.
a big hug,
She needed
but
a hug.
I think she's okay. I think she's okay.
I think she's turned out pretty great, but
I
I
hope so.
love that. Audrey, you have been such a blessing. Seriously, I'm so proud of you. I'm like to think of you as a senior in college, just the maturity, the way that you're chasing after the Lord. I know that there's going to be so many young girls that are listening in, even more seasoned women, listening in and just like, wow, this is what I want to be chasing after and pursuing. So, if you like today's episode, girls, do us a favor, make sure that you are liking and saying subscribed. Share it to some girls in your circle that maybe need to hear this, could find some encouragement in the things that we discussed today on the episode. And as always, we will see you again back in just 2 weeks as we do podcast episodes every other Tuesday. So, girls, we love you. We're praying for you, and we cannot wait to be back with you soon.